So for 7 years, a 180-plus run chase at Chepauk it was basically considered statistically impossible for the Chennai Super Kings.
Right, totally cursed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the pitch slows down, the spinners get a grip, and chasing anything near 200 there feels like, trying to win a drag race in a tractor.
It's just not built for it.
It really isn't. But today, you and I are looking at a stack of analysis surrounding a 27-year-old unused bench player who was, well, bought for peanuts.
Literally peanuts in cricket terms, yeah.
Right. And he just walked onto that pitch and fundamentally broke that 7-year curse. So, welcome to the deep dive. We are unpacking CSK's dramatic comeback, their third consecutive victory, and honestly, an absolute seismic shift in how championship cricket teams are built today.
Yeah, because when you look at their historical data, CSK has only chased down 200-plus totals 3 times. I mean, 3 times in their entire existence.
It was 3.
Just 3. So what we are breaking down today for you isn't just a good game of cricket. It's the validation of a completely revised, highly scrutinized team philosophy colliding perfectly in a single match.
Oh, for sure. We've got some incredible storylines to pull apart here for you. We're talking about a 30-lac underdog shattering records, a tactical bowling intervention that mathematically saved the game, and
a huge strategic shift regarding MS Dhoni.
Yes, a shift that absolutely no one saw coming a year ago. But let's start with the sheer mountain CSK had to climb. Because looking at the data, this wasn't just a tough target. The first 6 overs were a total anomaly.
Oh, anomaly is putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Both teams essentially broke the speedometer.
Right. The opposition put up 97 in their power play, and CSK responded with 91. That's just wild.
It was a completely unsustainable pace. I mean, in T20 cricket, when both teams are striking at over 15 runs and over in the power play, you are guaranteed a market correction.
A market correction. I like that.
Yeah, someone is going to lose wickets rapidly because, well, the batters are taking on too much structural load. Every single shot is high risk.
Which brings us to the exact moment that market correction hit CSK. Sanju Samson gets out.
Right, which is huge.
It's massive. Now, looking at the season stats, Samson has been their absolute bedrock, He already has 2 centuries.
He's the anchor.
Exactly. He is the guy who stabilizes the innings while the aggressive hitters take the risks. So imagine walking a tightrope and suddenly your safety net just vanishes.
That is exactly what it felt like.
Right. So when he goes back to the pavilion early in a 180-plus chase, you look at the CSK dugout and the math gets very, very grim.
Oh, totally.
You have Ayush Matre, who is still recovering from an injury, and Captain Ruturaj Gaikwad, who the analysts note is actively struggling with his form. He's facing a barrage of media criticism right now.
Usually this is where a batting line turtles. I mean, the anchor is gone, so the incoming batters drop their strike rate to preserve wickets.
Which just kills you in a big chase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it causes the required run rate to spiral completely out of control.
Yeah.
But the sources highlight a critical deviation here. CSK didn't send in a stabilizer.
No, they did not.
They deployed Urvil Patel.
Okay, I have to stop you there because reading Urvil Patel's numbers feels like reading a misprint.
It really does.
He is a 27-year-old unranked player. He walks into a stadium where the home crowd is dead silent because their star just got out, and he plays in innings with a strike rate over 200.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I really want to understand the mechanics of this. How does a guy with 0 marquee reputation suddenly equal Yashasvi Jaiswal's 2023 record for the fastest half-century in just 13 balls?
Well, it really comes down to exploiting field restrictions and having 0 legacy overhang.
A legacy overhang. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so when a superstar walks out, the opposition has thousands of hours of tape on them. They know exactly where to bowl, right?
Oh, right. Like they know their weak spots?
Exactly. But Urvil Patel is a statistical ghost to these bowlers. He came in and immediately disrupted their lengths. Because he didn't care about preserving a batting average, he took these highly calculated risks over the infield before the fielders could even be pushed back.
Wow, so he basically used his anonymity as a weapon.
Exactly that. And our analysis shows he was actually on track to break Jaiswal's record entirely.
Wait, really? Break it, not just equal it?
Yeah, break it. But the match situation tightened, and he had to adjust his pacing to ensure they didn't lose another wicket.
That's incredible. And, the stats are amazing, but as you dig through the source material, there is this profound human element behind that 13-ball 50. It really explains the psychology of a player who can handle that kind of intense pressure.
Oh, the Mother's Day dedication.
Yes, this match fell on Mother's Day, and right after the innings, Urvil dedicates it to his father. He says, "This is for you, Papa."
The backstory there is so crucial to understanding his mental fortitude. Urvil's father, Mukesh Patel, is a physical education teacher.
Right.
And the sources detail how Mukesh essentially uprooted their entire family from their home in Mehsana to move all the way to Ahmedabad.
Which, just for context for you listening, is a massive relocation just to access better cricket infrastructure.
Huge.
Mehsana doesn't have the academies or the turf wickets required to train a professional at this elite level.
Precisely. Ahmedabad has the facilities, they have the coaches, the highly competitive leagues. It was an enormous, calculated gamble by a father.
Risking family stability.
Exactly. Risking everything for his son's deeply uncertain future in a sport where, let's be honest, 99% of players never make a dime.
Yeah, the attrition rate is brutal. So when Urvil is staring down international bowlers in front of 50,000 screaming people, the pressure of the match probably pales in comparison to the pressure of validating his family's decade-long sacrifice.
I think you're spot on. That kind of pressure makes a cricket ball look pretty simple.
Totally. But, okay, I want to challenge the prevailing narrative here for a second.
Go for it.
Everyone in the media is focused on Urvil Patel's record-tying 50. But looking at the timeline of the match, I argue Urvil isn't the primary reason they won.
Okay, interesting. Why?
Because you don't get to chase 180 if the opposition scores 250. And after that fiery 97-run power play by the opposition, a 250-plus score wasn't just possible, it was the actual mathematical trajectory.
Oh, the data absolutely backs your skepticism there.
Right.
Yeah, and this is where the Jamie Overton intervention changes the entire geometry of the match. By the 9th over, the opposition was cruising past the 100-run mark.
They were flying.
They were. The English batsman was completely dialed in, seeing the ball like a beach ball.
So how do you stop a runaway train like that? What is the actual mechanism Overton used to pull the emergency brake?
He fundamentally disrupted the momentum by removing the set batter simultaneously. In T20 cricket, partnerships are everything.
Because they get comfortable with the pitch.
Exactly. When two batters are set, they know the pace of the pitch, they know the bowler's specific variations. But in one pivotal over, Overton took out Rishabh Pant and the English batsman.
Wow, both of them.
Both. When you remove both established players in the span of 6 deliveries, you force 2 brand new batters to start completely from scratch.
Oh, I see. They can't attack immediately because they have to assess the pitch conditions.
Right.
That structural reset is what caused the collapse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They went from projecting 250 to suddenly reeling at 130 for 5 by the 13th over. Overton's variations in pace and his ability to hit the deck hard completely nullified that aggressive stroke play that was working so well against the other bowlers.
No, Shabazz did come in later and push the opposition just past the 200 mark, but Overton's spell in those middle overs is the real reason the game didn't slip into the realm of the mathematically impossible.
Which is exactly why he earned man of the match over Urvil's historic batting.
Right, which makes total sense when you look at the macro picture. But this brings me to a massive discrepancy in the sources that I really want you to explain. Let's look at the raw economics of this match for a second.
Oh, the auction prices.
Yes, you have Prashant Veer and Karthik Sharma out there. The IPL auction data shows these guys were bought for 14 crores.
A phenomenal, just staggering amount of capital tied up in 2 players.
And what was the return on that capital? I mean, in the middle of that opposition onslaught, Prashant Veer drops a crucial catch off that same English batsman.
Ouch, yeah.
The data is clear on this. Dropping a set batter in the power play exponentially increases the final total. A 14 crore investment is fumbling the ball. Meanwhile, Urvil Patel, the guy who actually kept CSK in the chase, was bought in the 2025 auction for 30 lakhs.
It is a staggering contrast in ROI.
And it gets crazier. In 2023, Urvil Patel sat completely unused on the bench for the Gujarat Titans. They didn't give him a single game.
Not one.
So my question for you is this. Are these franchises operating on outdated metrics? Are they just blindly throwing money at recognizable, shiny names while completely ignoring the actual mechanics of squad depth?
You are hitting on the exact Moneyball philosophy that pundits have been criticizing CSK for over the last few years.
Really? They get criticized for this?
Oh, constantly. The media has constantly questioned their scouting department. Like, why are they targeting unmapped youngsters? Why spend time on Anshul Kamboj, Noor Ahmad, or an unused bench player like Urvil?
I guess because, on paper, it looks like they're just being cheap.
Exactly. But this match proves the absolute genius of their specific valuation model. Think of it like a tech company buying undervalued patents rather than overpaying for a famous finished product.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. CSK isn't looking for a 14 crore superstar who brings a massive ego and expects to bat in a specific position. They're looking for highly specific skill sets.
Like a player who can strike at 200 against spin in the middle overs.
Precisely. They acquired Urvil for 30 lakhs because other teams only look at his lack of international caps. CSK, though, they looked at his underlying strike rate metrics in domestic cricket.
They looked past the resume to the actual numbers.
Exactly. When your 30 lakh acquisitions execute perfectly under extreme pressure while the 14 crore Giants are dropping catches, it proves that advanced, hyper-specific scouting defeats a disjointed collection of expensive individuals every single time.
That shift in philosophy, building a cohesive machine out of undervalued parts, it brings up a massive implication for the most famous part of the CSK machine.
Oh, MS Dhoni.
Yes. If this budget-friendly young combination is winning games on their own, what does this mean for MS Dhoni?
Well, according to a recent analysis by Anil Kumbal in our stack, we're witnessing the end of an era. It is highly unlikely that MS Dhoni will return to the playing light.
I read that quote, and my initial reaction was to question if Dhoni is physically unable to play. Like, is his knee acting up again?
Right, that's the obvious guess, but the sources are very clear on that. Reports from the camp indicate Dhoni is performing perfectly well in wicket-keeping practice.
So the physical capability is absolutely still there.
It's there. The decision is entirely strategic. The team has finally found a rhythm. This specific combination of young players is clicking.
And Dhoni sees that.
Exactly. MS Dhoni's entire leadership philosophy has always been about the team's structural integrity over individual glory. He recognizes that inserting himself back into the lineup, even for a grand farewell tour, disrupts the delicate balance that players like Urvil and Overton have just established.
You know, it's like the ultimate architectural mindset.
How do you mean?
Well, you spend years designing a sturdy building, reinforcing the foundation, and guiding the young builders. But the true test of a master architect isn't keeping their name on the marquee forever. It's stepping back and watching the building withstand a hurricane entirely on its own.
Oh, I like that.
He's deliberately making himself obsolete.
And the climax of this very match proved that the building can withstand the hurricane without him. The final over was an absolute masterclass in the exact kind of fearless, independent execution Dhoni has been trying to instill in them.
Let's break down the mechanics of that final over, actually, because it involved a totally baffling tactical decision from the opposition.
Yeah, baffling is the word.
The game is on the line. The opposition captain brings on Markram, an off-spinner, to bowl to Arqami, who is a left-handed batsman.
Now, from a conventional cricket standpoint, bowling an off-spinner to a left-hander is a known tactic. The physics of it dictate that the ball turns away from the left-handed batter.
Right.
Captains use this to try and catch the outside edge of the bat as the player reaches for the spinning ball.
But that conventional wisdom completely ignores the specific profile of the batter at the crease.
Exactly.
I mean, Arqami has been out of form, yes, but the scouting report on him is that he is a natural spin basher. He doesn't poke at the ball waiting for an edge. He steps out, uses the angle of the ball turning away, and just frees his arms to hit straight through the line.
The opposition captain looked at a generic tactical manual instead of the specific player data in front of him. You do not feed a bowler turning the ball away into the hitting arc of a left-handed spin specialist in the final over of a tight chase.
It's basically a death sentence.
It is.
And Arqami proved exactly why. He stepped up, completely negated the spin, and crushed 2 sixes to seal the victory.
Beautiful to watch.
It was a brutal, decisive end that showed this team doesn't need to look at the dugout for instructions from Dhoni anymore.
They got it figured out.
They really do. So, taking all of this, the historic chase, the undervalued players stepping up, the strategic shift, how does this alter the landscape of the tournament for you as a listener? What is the ripple effect on the playoff race?
Oh, the mathematical landscape has been completely upended. With this third consecutive win, CSK has catapulted into 5th place.
5th place, wow.
Yeah, and looking at their remaining schedule, the math is heavily in their favor. They only need to win 2 of their final 3 matches.
This seems very doable.
Highly doable. Given their momentum and the fact that their budget acquisitions are firing on all cylinders, their entry into the playoffs is looking highly probable.
I always find it fascinating to look at the inverse of a team's rise, too. You contrast CSK's upward, data-driven trajectory with the total structural collapse of Lucknow.
Oh, Lucknow.
Right. They are, under Rishabh Pant's captaincy, they are facing massive criticism for their lack of strategy, and they are just languishing at the very bottom of the table.
Lucknow is a textbook example of what happens when high-priced individual talent completely fails to form a cohesive unit.
It's the anti-CSK.
Exactly. But the volatility of this league isn't just at the bottom of the table. Look at the Punjab Kings.
The Punjab situation is fascinating because the analysis points directly to a systemic flaw in their team building.
Yeah, it really does.
They have suffered 3 consecutive losses, and the sources attribute this to a highly unbalanced bowling attack.
They invested heavily in pace, but totally lack the containing spin options required for the middle overs.
And spin is everything in the middle overs.
It is. When the ball stops swinging after the power play, their fast bowlers are just leaking runs everywhere, making it totally impossible for their batters to chase those inflated targets.
But here's the wild part about the tournament math right now.
Okay.
Despite Punjab reeling from 3 straight losses due to an inherently flawed bowling attack, if they manage to win their upcoming match against Delhi, they could hit 15 points.
Which is crazy because that would snatch first place right out from under Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Yes, and that just highlights how razor-thin the margins are in this tournament. I mean, RCB is sitting at 14 points. They look like the most balanced squad in the entire tournament.
They really do.
You have Bhuvneshwar Kumar anchoring their bowling attack, swinging the ball, consistently taking power play wickets, and establishing early dominance. They have built a beautiful, functioning machine, yet one single win from a struggling, unbalanced Punjab team could mathematically leapfrog them.
It just proves that in the back half of this tournament, macro-level theories about team balance are constantly at war with micro-level moments.
I love that. Macro theories versus micro moments.
Yeah. A single tactical error-like bowling Markram to Arkhami or a single dropped catch by a 14 crore player alters the destiny of the entire league standings.
It really reframes how we should be watching these games. So let's pull all these threads together. Today, we unpacked a team facing an impossible 180-plus chase at a ground where history said it couldn't be done.
Right.
We saw the safety net of their star player vanish, only to watch a 27-year-old 30-lakh unranked player named Urvil Patel step up. He equaled a historic 13-ball 50 record and delivered an emotional Mother's Day tribute to a father who relocated his entire life to give his son a shot at greatness.
And we analyzed Jamie Overton's tactical disruption of a runaway batting lineup, proving that strategic momentum breaking totally outweighs the bloated price tags of 14 crore giants who fumble under pressure.
And most significantly, I think, we witnessed a franchise learning to win on its own terms, proving their highly criticized scouting model correct, and allowing the greatest captain in their history, MS Dhoni, to quietly and confidently step away from the playing axe. They are surging into 5th place and turning the playoff race upside down.
It truly is a masterclass in trusting the process over the pedigree.
It really is. And as we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you watch the remainder of this wild IPL season. We've spent a lot of time today looking at the massive disparities in auction prices versus actual on-field execution. So ask yourself, is the era of relying on high-priced marquee megastars officially over? Going forward, is the true currency of a championship dynasty no longer the size of the auction budget, but instead advanced data scouting, tactical cohesion, and the quiet, emotional resilience of unheralded players? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep watching, keep analyzing, and most importantly, keep questioning the narrative. We'll catch you next time.